Salve Latin 2 students, welcome back. Thank you for checking in with me today. Hope you enjoyed the little web quest we did yesterday with some customs information and everything. I want to start our final chapter of the year with you today. That's kind of a big deal, finishing up. We only have 2 more weeks to go, so we're going to start at chapter 36 and we'll finish with that chapter. We're going to start it this week, and then next week we'll have our last quiz of the year. So we kind of are definitely in the home stretch right here. That week after next week is technically part of the school year, but it's kind of a short week, and it was supposed to be finals week. There are no finals. So they've asked us not to give any big assignments or tests or anything over that week. So probably that week we might just have like a year-ending survey or something like that, but we won't have any new assignments or tests or anything like that, or it might give you time to catch up on missing things. So chapter 36 is the final chapter on all this comparison we've been doing for a long time now. So I'm happy to be able to finish that up with you this year because a lot of you are going on to Latin 3 next year, and you got to know this to be ready for that challenge. So we've learned how to compare adjectives, right? In the last few chapters, we learned there's some irregularities, some irregular parts. And in this chapter, we learn how to compare adverbs. That's the final thing to learn, because adverbs can be comparative too, right? She ran quickly, she ran more quickly, she ran very quickly. So adverbs can be comparative too. The vocab this time is a lot of adverbs, right? Not completely, but a lot of adverbs. So I'm going to take you through it. This set is on Quizlet. I've already shared it with you, so you can already be practicing and getting ready for the vocab this chapter. Some of the vocab is kind of from the chapter. You won't see it technically in the vocab section, but it's taught, so I put it in here so you can study from this also. Also, a lot of the vocab today will not have derivatives. Some of it will, but a lot of it won't. Less than normal, just because adverbs sometimes, just by their nature, don't have as many derivatives as nouns and verbs do and stuff. So for some of these, I might bring up derivatives, or for a lot of them, we'll just talk about the word. So the first 2 words are connected, diutius and diutissime. If you remember in Latin 1, we learned diu for a long time. So this is the comparative and superlative adverb of that. I'll go into more detail tomorrow when I give you the notes, but just know that's what's coming. So diutius, means for a longer time. So in other words, comparative of diu. And then diutissime means for a very long time or for the longest time. It's a superlative of diu. Same thing with these next 2. Saipe, we learned in Latin 1, meant often. Saipius is the comparative, means more often, and saipissime means most often. So keep that with saipe in your head from Latin 1. The next one is a noun. It is used, though, with comparative adverbs. I'll explain that to you tomorrow when I give you the notes on the chapter. But paulum, pauli, neuter means a little, as in an amount. So if I give you a little of something, that would be paulum. The way we're going to use this chapter is if I say, oh, she's a little bit faster than him or whatever, that would be how you use paulum to say like the degree of which something's true. A little bit better, a little bit nicer, a little bit faster. Okay, so that'll be something I go into detail on tomorrow. The next one is quotidie, and this one's kind of related to the 5th declension word dies we learned earlier this year. Quotidie is an adverb that means every day or daily. Okay. Diende is a word that you use to mean next or then. This is a word you hear sometimes in the speeches. So those of you who've done speeches might have seen diende because it kind of means like then, and this is what happened, diende. The next word is eo. This one's kind of related to id, but it's not quite the same, but just you see it kind of looking like that. Eo means there or to that place. Now we learned a word in Latin 1 that means there, and that was ibi. So that's still out there. But eo is a little bit different. It means there in the sense of moving to somewhere. So we want to walk there would be eo rather than ibi. Ibi is more of a stationary thing. The house is located there would be ibi. Eo is we are heading there in the sense of moving towards something. Hook, you can see here, means here or to this place. Very similar. It means you're moving to this place. So come here would be hook. There's movement involved going somewhere. The next one is iluk, which means there or to that place. Kind of similar to iluk, but usually iluk is further a place that's relatively further away than eo is. Okay, both of them involve moving towards somewhere or there. The next word is nondum, which means not yet. It kind of looks like 2 words, but it is just 1 word there. Nondum, it means something has kind of not yet happened. We'll start using that pretty soon. The next word is numquam. Numquam means never. That's a pretty common word in Latin. I've always found it odd that they I don't think we've learned umquam, have we? But I'm going to throw this in as a bonus word for you. If you take off the in and just umquam, there's no in, that means ever. And numquam means never. I've always thought it was interesting how English is the same way, isn't it? Ever and then never is the opposite. You're adding an in to the positive to make it negative. Same thing, umquam, numquam. I always thought that was kind of cool. Um, yeah, so that's a good one. The next one is paine, which means almost. This one does have a derivative. I taught you in Latin 1 when we learned insula. Do you remember the derivative of insula, island? Was peninsula. Paine insula, almost. An island is a peninsula. So this one does kind of have a derivative there. Quo means where or where to. It's different from ubi in that ubi is like where in the stationary sense. Where are we right now? Whereas quo is where in the sense of where to. So if you're asking your friend, where are we going? That would be more like a quo because you're moving to somewhere. Okay. There's a very famous old movie called Quo Vadis that had kind of a Roman theme also. I wish we had a chance to watch together. It's really, really good. The guy who plays Nero is really impressive in that movie. But quo is the word here. The next word is simul, which means at the same time. So it might have a derivative also. You might think of if it's happening at the same time, what is that in English? Simultaneous would be a good derivative here, simultaneous, right? The next word is statim, which means at once or immediately, statim. A good derivative from this would be, it's kind of a derivative. It's used in, I think, medicine. You might hear in a movie or something in a hospital. They say, we need something stat, is the kind of the shortened form of statim. It means immediately. It kind of makes sense because stat is much easier to say than immediately in an emergency situation, right? Stat is like very quick and easy. Tandem is the next word here. Tandem means at length, at last, or finally. So this might be used when you're kind of starting to sum something up to finish up a story or something. Sometimes you'll see tandem. Atque is a word that could mean and or as you can see here, it could mean as. And there's also some things, I'm going to get into this more in the chapter, but there's some words that atque is used together at, and it will mean a certain thing. For example, if it's used with simul, if you see simul atque together, it'll mean as soon as. So we'll go over some of those when we get into the chapter, but atque on its own means and or as. Postquam means after. That's not a big surprise because it has post on the front of it. We've learned 3 words for after this year. We've learned post or before, post, postea, and postquam. And the reason they're each different is because each one is a different part of speech. Postquam, for example, is a conjunction. So this would be used to start some sort of temporal clause. After we went to the store, we went back home or something. So that's how postquam would be used. Ut can also be used in a temporal clause. It could mean how, as, when, or since. It just kind of depends on the context as to which one makes more sense there. So this could be like, as she was coming to school, her car broke down. That would be ut in that sense. It was a temporal clause at the beginning of the sentence. These last few are not vocab words per se, but they're kind of idioms and words used in specific ways, but I included them so you can help study, right? Primo, of course, is from primus, which we learned before, but when it's used in the ablative like this, it means at first. It's kind of an ablative of time when that is used kind of in a special idiomatic way. Primo means at first. Prima estate is an idiom. It means, literally, it would look like first summer, but it's an ablative time when. It means at the beginning of summer. Prima luce is also an idiom. It means at first light or at daybreak or dawn. This could be translated again as an ablative of time when. And then also prima nocte, which means early in the night. Another idiom there. Instead of meaning on the first night, it means early in the night. So I included some of the idioms and stuff in this chapter. Now, tomorrow I will return to help you with the rest of 36. We want to be really good at this chapter because it's going to be our last big quiz grade as we finish off the year. And I hope you guys are doing well, keeping up with everything. I've been seeing some good stuff. So thank you for completing your assignments, doing well in your quizzes and stuff. Make sure to pop into office hours if you need to see me or send me a message. It's important we stay caught up these last few weeks as school is getting ready to draw to a close, okay? So just stay in touch with me, and I will be back tomorrow to give you some notes on this chapter, chapter 36, okay? Have a great day. Walete.